I've arrived at the cutoff here of an old road that I used to explore back in the old days. I've come here to exactly here to park right here and to explore the road beyond. This is one of the only places up here, anywhere up here, that you'll find a place as wide and open as this, where you can just park your car and begin to walk. There's a photo that I took a long time ago of myself and my daughter sitting right there. I'll put it right here. I took that photo at the start of a hike that I did with my daughter, one of several that we did in this area. Quite memorable. But I'm going to do a little bit now, but kind of in a different way. It's been a long, long time since I've been here. I'm different, so I can't help but do it in a different way. I have no choice. A couple of things first to get ready. I've got my... Oh no. Guess what? I forgot my jacket. That's okay. Got a hat. And I've got my bear spray. That's important up here. It's a shame that I forgot my jacket. It's actually chilly. But I like mistakes related to temperature. If I just walk a little bit, I'll be fine. But got my bear spray. If you can remember how to use it, pull that off, pop this cap off, and depress this. I'm good to go. Put that back in place, press it away. Then it's holster. Bears have been a real issue in the last couple of years here in Japan. Lots of sighting and attacks, and this is bear country right here, for sure. Okay, no, I guess, and I won't even tuck this in. I'll just keep the bear spray on the side there. Maybe I'll just, yeah, that's good enough. Should I bring that? Should probably bring my wallet. Oh, I brought my guitar for whatever reasons that is, but I don't think I'll need that. Got my keys. Oh, I did bring my jacket. It's right there. Before I get started, I think I'll just sit here like I did once with my daughter and have I've done several times. I've done several softypapa adventures that have started here and have a sandwich to get started with. From the convenience store, Lawson Station, 275 yen for this egg sandwich. Oh, I have some tea too. No, water. Very often these high mountain villages will have dumps, usually at the side of a ledge where they get rid of stuff. Here's one. I didn't know this one was here. I'd never seen it before. These are old roof tiles, ceramic. And probably there's all kinds of stuff down there related pile after pile of generation after generation of this village's refuge from the days before they would have refuge collection service. I can see some things down there. There's another one of these dumps at a village further up. We might actually get to it, where I've seen like old bicycles in there and all kinds of interesting things. This could be a piece of an old ceramic piece of tile or statuary or something. Kind of look like it's got a shape to it. I kind of like that. That's kind of neat. All this dumpy junk. Okay, I had my sandwich. Believe it or not, I saw a car go by. So up here a little further, along that road, there's a village that consists of two parts. The near part and the farther part, and there's a shrine that has some really precarious little stairs to climb up. And there's a house that had a fish farm at one time. Oh, here's some old structure here. And I remember when there were fish. Fish were they stopped having fish there long ago, before I left, about a year before I left. This is the first time I've been back. And there was one house that had a man living in it. I saw him 2 or 3 times. He lived alone. He didn't live in the house. He lived in the shed. The house was stuffed with futons on the second floor. You could see them in the window, stuffed. And I don't know. I said hi to him a couple of times, and he never acknowledged me. Kind of just stared at me like I was the ghost. I don't know if he's there anymore. I'll be surprised if he's there. It's been 12 years maybe since I've been here. Let's go. Now this is the kind of place where you could get lots of leeches. I've been checking my shoes. I don't see any so far. It may be a little bit too cold for them now, which is a good thing, obviously. For me at least. Okay, this bridge has memories. It's a beautiful view over the side. Quite stunning. I have hiked down to the water. It wasn't easy. And beyond that, you can see there's a farmhouse up there. What I'm probably going to do is alternate. I'll talk at you this way and turn the camera, because I want you to have the better quality camera. The audio doesn't work so good if I turn it the other way and try to talk. So when I'm facing the other way, I'll just let the scenery do the talking. I'll turn back this way when we can talk. But let's turn it the other way and have a look at the water. And then we'll meander up and have a look at the farm. And if I remember right, there was a field that goes across to a forest. In the distance, there was a house that had a big hornet nest in it. Nobody seemed to really be around, but there were signs of life back then. That wasn't the old man's house. His house is up along the rain and around the corner, but we're going to pass a shrine. We'll have to meander up, and then we'll look at the shrine stuff. I'll probably be quiet through much of it. Let's start. It's worth pointing out where I've changed since I was here before. Back then, I was still hustling and bustling and moving and doing all the things. I'm kind of beyond that now. I linger differently. I look at things differently. I don't, glance and go so much. I kind of just meander and look. There's a Japanese maple. Starting to turn a little color up there. Water's a little high. There's the farmhouse. I remember something. She had a dog that would sit there. It was a nice enough dog. And I would walk past. It was an old woman that lived there. She and I said hi a couple of times. There's another house over there. And then the shrine is on this little hillock right there. You can just see the roof of it right there. So we'll go up here, around the corner, see a house that has a nice view across the valley to the forest. Up along here, past the house where the old woman lived, all alone with her dog. And then around the corner and down to the fish farm. And the old house with the futons is on the right. And the shed that the man lived in was there. And now what was beyond that, I don't remember, but to the left side, past the fish farm, there was a house that was kind of built into the rocks. And the house is built around the rocks. And then beyond that, it's fuzzy and foggy. Let's carry on. Boy, I like being here like this now. There's a giant hornet right there. Okay, the hornet that's green tea right there. The hornet, so one of the last of the season, is getting some nectar from the flowers and the tea. This tea's been cultivated clearly. This tea all up there has been abandoned, as is what happens. They give it up in stages. But anyway, I was saying, it's really different to be back now. I kind of feel like a kid who's been released into Disneyland on a day when the park's closed to everybody, but all the rides are running. I got it all to myself. Oh, chestnuts. Chestnut tree. Got the park to myself. All the rides are going. Nobody's here. But these rides are a different type. They're not the wee type. They're the type. Now her house doesn't look, it looks quite abandoned now. That's the house for the old woman and the dog. Turn around, look. Nobody lives there anymore. Let's see if we see any evidence of anything, but let's keep on going. Back to the camera action. Can you see all the junk down there? You can see this is another one of those dumps. I wasn't aware of this one. I never looked over the edge before. The house looks like it's still occupied. Probably in the past, the people that lived right here would just dump all their stuff right over the edge. Who knows what's down there? I can hear something. It sounds like a radio coming from the house. Could you hear the radio? I think it's NHK. Real popular with the old folks around here. Japan's national radio. I didn't want to intrude on their privacy, so I didn't get too close. I can hear it now, but I don't know if it comes through on the camera. Here's the shrine. I've almost fallen down these stairs before. Let's go up there and have a look, quietly and respectfully. What I remember before was that there were like two little altar houses inside. There's a bigger house structure, two little altars and maybe some statues, pretty tidy, and a little broom and spider webs. Did you see the giant hornet zip past just there? I had lunch here once or twice. I think they redid the two little shrines here. These are Shinto, the native religion of Japan. Animist religion, deities everywhere. This is probably the god of the village or the god of the hillock here. I think they redid those. They've got little doors on them that are closed, probably got statues in there. The leaves here are sakaki, all kind of withered. Nobody's taking care of them. But the shimeno was in good shape. This is exactly as I remember it. Although I've changed. I think the altars have changed. But I can't get over how much I've changed. Gosh, before I was like a busy reporter trying to capture a story and busy to get a headline. I'm not like that at all anymore. I'm glad I'm not like that. It took a long time to live past that, to live through what was important to be the person that I have been and that I was, to get to where I am now. It's a much better, I won't lie, it's a much better place. Being 61 now, much better than 51, much better than 41, much better than 31, infinitely better than 21. 11 was, I didn't know what I was, when I was 11, I didn't know what I was getting myself into yet. But it just keeps getting better every decade. I guess until it stops getting better, right? That's going to come soon, I think. As unsettling as that is to some people when I say that. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm just going to sit here for a while, something I used to not do. I'll catch up with you to continue in a second. When you get to my age, or maybe you don't have to wait till my age, when you get to whatever this is, this feeling of life, you can have yours time in a place like this too. It doesn't have to be this place. Find your own. like I say in Going Alone, the book that I wrote, find your own Mount Wildness. Okay, back down on the road. Let's continue our camera-led tour. That's the house that had the woman and the dog. No sign of woman or dog. someone's still living there for sure. Maybe that's the house that had the dog. Anyway, we're at the summit here. We're going to go down. The fish farm is over here on the left. Should be empty. Maybe a little water flowing through. And then the house with the futon and the old man who never spoke on the right. That's an interesting hinge. It looks like it's just old tire rubber nailed in place. It's locked. It's a farm shed. There's the house and the farm right down there. Once again, just in case I haven't stated it clearly, that's green tea. And this is green tea here too. This has been abandoned, but still cultivated. More green tea abandoned right over here, all along here at one time. Ah, there's the futons I remember in the window. I can just imagine them all stuffed up against the window there in that room, second floor room. This is probably the front door right here. Mailbox. I don't know why it's got that blocking thing. All the shutters are closed here. This is where the old man lived. And there's a shed right over there where I would see a light on sometimes. I only saw him a few times. And like I said, he never said a word to me, just kind of looked at me. If I was a superstitious person, I might have thought he was a ghost. Here's his fish farm. I think he was the fish farmer. These were the pools right here. And back when I first started exploring here, gosh, 18 years ago, these were full of water circulating through, lots of fish in there, little fish that he would sell. And then there was more here. And this one here has like a net over the top, cage to keep the birds out, and more down there, and then the river. Let's go back to the quiet camera stuff. So I'll go over there, I'll show you the room that he stayed in. I'll zoom in a little bit, I might not say anything. And then up there is the house that's molded around the rock. Well, I'll be gosh darn. Doesn't it look like there's a light on in there? That's the same thing that I used to see all those years ago. I don't think there's any chance he's still here. Maybe what I thought was a light on all those years ago, maybe there's a skylight or something, or a window on the other side. Maybe that's just natural light coming through, or a hole in the roof. I won't trespass and get any closer than right here. But maybe I've been wrong all this time. Or maybe there is a light on the inside. Could that be? I don't want to trespass. So I'll stand right here and just wonder. But I used to see him here. And I saw him once there. Maybe he really was a ghost. Not that I believe in such things. You see that blue item right there where my finger is? That's an old-fashioned wooden bathtub, or furo, for the house. I wonder what it would have taken for me to walk just over there to solve the mystery of whether or not there's a light on or not. Could it be that the house has been Akiya all these decades and the electricity's been on all this time and someone's paying the bill? I mean, the electrical wire's right there. Did someone leave a light on all this time? It's a profound thought. I can't believe I'm here. Did you see that giant hornet? A long time ago, there was a little van parked here. It's gone. Maybe it was a K truck. It was K no matter what, but it's gone. Interesting that with a little chimney. You see how the house is kind of molded into the rocks? I think there's more of that up here. Very nice. That's quite a sight. Now this tree growing up through the split in the rocks is interesting. I'm seeing a lot of hornets over here getting nectar from these flowers. I have to be careful. They're aggressive this time of the year. These are green tea flowers. Hornets seem to like it. What's beyond here? I don't quite remember, but I know there's another way back. So we'll go up and around. Oh, there's a hornet right there. That was not Osuzumibachi. That was the Japanese giant hornet. That wasn't. That was the yellow hornet, which is actually more aggressive than the Japanese giant hornet, but not as big. But big enough. When I'm around them, I just kind of stand still. I don't wear black. I try to just stand still, especially around this time of the year. The nests are starting to die. Let's proceed. Quietly we go. So you might be wondering, a palm tree high in the mountains? We're way up there. They were planted here by the farmers amongst the orchard here, and they would use the material from the palm for various crafts back in the day. So these palms that you see are date from back in the, probably way back, before modern era, when they would have to make stuff from stuff. And they needed stuff to grow, by growing stuff where they lived. I've never been up there, but that's just the kind of place to find a bear. So let's not go there. I don't want to use my spray. Stay on the road, at least until winter sets in. I remember this place. Someone lived here the last time I was here. This gate wasn't here. I never saw anything like this with the gates covering it. So this is definitely empty. I've never walked up any of these little trails. These little footpaths, it just feels a little too personal. So continue our somewhat silent walk. Look at how the house has been formed around the growth of the tree. Very accommodating, very Japanese, very wabi-sabi. Let me tell you about what it's like to come to a place like this and not trespass. I mean, I'm talking about not trespassing in fact or even in principle. You can pass through a place like this like a ghost, to overuse this word. I've been saying it over and over. But that's how it feels like if you don't do it. Like, there's a crack in the hole right there in that door. I could easily step over there, put the camera up, peek in and give you a look and me a look at what's inside. It's too far over the line. Really, anything other than staying on this side of the line is too far over the line. When I explore Japan this way, being mindful of my footsteps and mindful of where my eye is looking, placing the camera, I can do it with peace and whatever equanimity, balance that balance that I was referring to earlier, that I brought with me here, I can keep. Even if I come across somebody, they come around the corner, oh, like right there, and there's a car right there. Even if that happens, I don't have to feel awkward or like I'm doing anything that's violating anybody's privacy, because I haven't. I'm just being a respectful walker. Hashtag walking in Japan. Now look at that. Where is the wild more inside or outside of this Akia? Looks pretty wild on the inside. Let's carry on. A couple of houses like this. I bet you could rent that place right there. I bet you could have that place for free. Wouldn't that be an interesting place? Right here by the river in this little village. Oh, there goes a hornet. Let's have a look. This is the community center. I guess that's the community chalkboard. This is most certainly a green tea processing facility. Whether it's still used or not is anyone's guess. And there's a beautiful old house up there. Konnichiwa. Osanpo desu. Hi. All right, I just had a really nice talk with that man. It's amazing how my Japanese improves when I just throw myself out here. he doesn't speak any English. He's never really been anywhere other than here. And he was telling me his life. He was a farmer here. He has a house around the corner there. He said all of these houses here are about 100 years old. He told me not to worry too much about bears. He said they're here, but they're not really an issue. Boars are not much of an issue. He says monkeys are everywhere. They're a real hassle. Very nice talk. He told me come back next month. He said this mountain is just going to be just filled with color, with the winter colors. So I'll come back next month. I just heard a loud noise. Hey, that looks like a relatively new house. Let's turn the viewing camera on back on. That's a stack of tatami mats. You know, the floor matting? They're just made of biodegradable things. So when you're done with them, when you replace the mats, you can put them out here and they'll just biodegrade back into like mulch and compost. Someone's got a nice garden here, all covered up to keep the monkeys out. Years ago, I was walking right along here and I met an old woman repairing this wall right here. She told me her story. She came to this village when she was very old. This was 12, 14, 15 years ago. She came to this village when she got married and married into this household from the village on the other side of the mountain. She said she walked here with her father, married into the family and lived here ever since. When I met her, she was the last. No one else was remaining. She lived all alone in that big house up there. And she was repairing the wall that had collapsed. And you can still see it. She didn't finish the job. You can still see how it's collapsed right here. And that whole wall. And I guess she just let it go. Kind of wonder why I didn't offer to chip in. It's the kind of thing that I would like to think I would do. I didn't think about it at the time. But sometimes you read the air. Right? You can know what's the right thing and what's the wrong thing to do. But the place stayed up. The house is still there. I don't think she's around anymore. I can see fencing blocking things off. Although someone seems to be taking care of the garden. Maybe she's still around. I'll keep my eyes open. This is a ginkgo tree right here. Makes kind of a stinky little fruit. Quite a compound up there. She's got these stairs that lead up to there and there and there and there and all over. Funny little outtake. I was talking to that man, and the Japanese word for bear is kumo, and spider is kuma, and I was getting it wrong. And I asked him if there was a lot of spiders around. And he said, yeah, there's lots of spiders. Go right over there. Spiders everywhere. And I thought he was talking about bears. So, but there's bears right over there. And then I realized I had started the conversation wrong, asking him if there were a lot of spiders rather than a lot of bears. Once I straightened that out, he straightened me out that the bears aren't, they're here. They should be taken seriously, but not as bad as they may think. I know where I am. It's amazing how the memories come back. Right up here, there's a, what is it, silkworm? Mulberry. There's a mulberry tree up here that I really love. Right across this bridge. And then there's the dump I told you about before. Is right up there as well. And then the shrine is up here. This is kind of getting close to the end of everything. And after that, it's kind of wilderness beyond. Lots and lots of softypapa videos up there and around there. Kind of like this wave of emotions as I remember all this stuff. There used to be, right up here, there's an entrance to a trail that goes up that canyon there. I tried to make it, but it was too hard. And there was a granny cart, you know, one of those old granny push carts? They walk around in like this. There's a granny cart right over there too. And I wonder if the granny cart is still there. I hear that boom. I used to know what that is. I think it's to scare away the boars. Anyway, or maybe it's a hunter. Maybe he's hunting spiders. Let's see if the granny cart is there. And where's that mulberry tree? Is that it? Let's go see. That's the village dump right there. This whole hillside here. If you go down there and you poke around in there a little bit, all kinds of interesting old glass and bottles and plates, and there's an old bicycle in there. Come popping out. And then there's a wall, and then the trail goes up there, but it's a little too hard to do. And here's a stairway that leads up to another elevation of the village up there. And now I remember, he said where the shrine is. I know where it is. It's up there. It's all coming back, but no granny cart. Maybe this is the trail to the shrine. I've never tried to take it, but it feels a little personal. Oh, here comes a car. I also remember something else about up here. There's an old house up here on the left. An old house that I visited with my daughter. Didn't go inside, but hold on, let me turn the camera down. There's a car coming by. This was an old, up here, was an old, what do you call it? Shiitake farm, shiitake mushroom farm. And then there's like a pond thing here. Look at all the mold. And a couple of houses up there. But anyway, this old house that I visited with my daughter And when we were approaching it, we found the graves, the house graves in the forest. And we found a headless Buddha or Jesus statue. That was spooky. I think it's right up here around the corner, a few corners, maybe a few corners to the left. Let's walk. Here's another one of those dumps. So clearly the section of the village that lives right up there would throw their trash over the edge here down to the river. I can see an old child's shoe right there. I can see an old rice bowl or something right here, I think. There's an old teacup. Lots and lots of interesting artifacts, I imagine, if you poke around. One of the things I remember about this house up here was that there's not a drawbridge, but there's a bridge across the river to get to it. We didn't take that bridge. Emily and I crawled across the river. Right around here, maybe right there. There's a photo somewhere of Emily and I having lunch. Right around here. It seems different. Somehow something seems different. And then we went up and the grave is in the forest up there. This one this was before I had the scruples that I have now. And I did poke the camera in with the door and I saw what was inside. Fully furnished. Beautiful farm camp compound with all this stuff. Let me know in comments. Would you walk across this? I didn't. I wouldn't do it now. I went down there, crossed over there with my daughter, up through the forest where we found the headless Jizo, cross here, carefully through there, and then we went to the house and peeked in. The house is right behind here. Akia of the truest sense. Let's see if we can get a view, some glimpse of it. You'll see the doors. I'll zoom right in now on the doors where I peeked in. The video's out there somewhere on my channel. There's actually a second house. There's two houses there. And then up here, there's a little fork in the road. The one to the left goes up and then gets rugged up there. I've got a four-wheel drive. I could do that no problem now. And then the one to the right goes deep into the mountains, up along that. And then there's the shrine, the village shrine, up at the top up there. Let's take a walk up there. You know, one of the things that's astonishing is just how great my shape is since coming back to Japan. Living well, eating well, not drinking, getting lots of exercise. I can just go anywhere and do anything now. I remember there was a beautiful farm right up here, I think. Oh, I remember this is a dead end. It goes to this house. So I'm just gonna go around the corner, get a quick view, and we'll turn around. Don't want to trespass. But did you see that beautiful pine? I'll start the video up again with that beautiful full-size pine, and then you'll see it. I think there's a video on my channel called Japan Shangri-La or something like that. When I first time I visited, I didn't know this was here, and I stumbled across it again. That booming sound might be coming from here. That's all the glimpse we're going to get of the Shangri-La. I guess I don't know where the Jinja is, the shrine. I think it's right up there. That road, that stone staircase we saw earlier must lead up to that house. And I don't think you could hear it, but I could hear more NHK radio. So another sign that there's probably some oldster living there, maybe all alone. That's a heck of a Shangri-La. Well, I thought I'd turn the camera on when I was hiking further down below by the river on a little road down there, and I saw what appeared to be a structure through the forest. And then I came upon a little road. It seems to go up towards that structure. So I thought I'd turn the camera on and discover together. Let's go. Let's go find out what's up here. I'll be quiet in case someone is actually living up here. I certainly don't want to disturb them. You never know. Maybe this is what I saw. This berm, this wall, might have been what I thought was a house. Wait, no? But it's not uncommon to find houses lost in the woods up here. So let's continue our walk a little further. It's a pleasant enough place anyway. I'll bet you that's what I saw. Don't fall over, Kurt. Don't drop your phone. I saw this wall from through the trees, and I thought it was a house. Let's continue exploring. Isn't this nice? Wow, look over there. Oh, there is a house. Not the one I saw, though. Look at this. Gosh, it's a little paradise. They've got their own, it's a farm. They've got their own tea fields here. There's the farmer's home up there. Their shed. Look at that stately pine over there, right dead center. Can you see it? I wish I could zoom in. Oh my gosh. A little mountain paradise. I feel like I'm trespassing. This is the end of the road. This farmer has created a little haven for himself. I'm going to retreat now. With some laundry over there. Wow. Folks, this is one of those special moments. This is the Japan that rarely shows up on the guidebooks. Way up in the mountains, a little farmer's paradise. I'm going to retreat away now. There's this truck over there. Don't want to be trespassing bamboo fields on bamboo grove. Wow. Try to hold the camera properly as we move. I don't think I can express in words the feeling that I have in this kind of thing. I see so often remnants of abandoned elements here in Japan, in the mountains. There was a real sense of tranquility, a sense of life, a sense of peace. This wall was probably made by that farmer. Okay, I'm going to turn off the camera now, continue walking. Thanks for joining me in this little experience. Take care. This might be a good place as any to stop the video for today. I was reading a story. It was on the Uncanny Japan podcast with Teresa Matsuda. I think I'm saying her name right. And she was talking about how there's the god that is mist in the morning and rain at night. And the thing about this landscape right here, in the summertime, every day about 4 p.m., the clouds begin to gather and a light rain falls. Every time I've been up here. Now it's way too early in the day to know if that's going to happen. Now I'm going to call it quits. Hey, there's an animal trail right there. Look at that. I'll call it quits for now. Thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to exercise a little of the new me, which is to not engage with this and more just relax. I did bring my guitar after all. Maybe I'll walk back to the car, have the rest of my lunch, and strum my guitar. Thanks for joining me. Be safe. Not too safe. Take care. Mm-hmm.